Now we move on to the demo. In this scene, every enemy is coded with a line of sight algorithm. How it works is when the player steps into the detection radius of the enemy will move towards the player's position. Now moving on to scene 2, this is where we show the auditory algorithm. The enemy will walk towards the source of the sound. In this case, is where the ball hits the ground. With the implementation of this, the enemies the player encounters will react more realistically and create a more engaging gameplay for the player. Now in this scene, we will talk about the environmental awareness AI. As seen in the room, the enemy is trapped within a cage. There are 2 buttons which both control the lights of the scene. When the player switches the lights off, the enemy will react by switching the lights on again. This will make it feel like the enemies react the same way how the player would react in the same situation, creating a sense of realism to the gameplay. Now we'll move on to the final scene, where we will show the adaptation AI. In this scene, there are 8 lockers present. The enemy in this case is blind and will only have the adaptation AI loaded into it. How it works is when the player enters the locker once, the enemy will not react to it. However, when the player enters the same locker once more, the enemy will move towards the location of the locker and check if the player is there. This creates a more dynamic gameplay for the player and encourages changes in their movements and thinking throughout the gameplay. Once more, we will show how this implementation works. Now lastly, we will move on to a scene where all these 4 implementations come together. The player's intention is to escape this scene without being spotted by the enemy. Using everything that we implemented for the AI, the player will find the best way to escape the scene. And that's all for our demo. Thank you.